So I'm actually sitting down to film a new video. Fancy that. Yeah, it's been a while. My hair is different. The background is different. I probably owe everyone a short life update. The short answer is I have moved. I relocated from Durham, North Carolina to London. Yes, that London. I've moved here for graduate school. I had been working for the past few years and I felt it was time to advance myself. So I don't know if you guys watch Casey Neistat. He's one of my favorite YouTubers. In one of his vlogs, he talked about how when you move along in your life, in your career, sometimes you hit a stage in your career where you hit a plateau where you have learned all you need to learn in a certain job. You're content, you are complacent, and that is where you sort of stagnate. I did love my job and I did have a lot of friends. It was a really nice life, but I did realize that I was starting to stagnate a bit in terms of my learning and advancement. I was getting really comfortable and a little bit complacent at my position, so I realized that if I didn't go and take a risk and do something different, I was just going to stay at that plateau. So I always wanted to live abroad and I did want to go back to graduate school, so that's the decision I made. So needless to say, life has been a bit busy for me for the past 2 months. I know I've alluded to the move, but I don't think you guys have an idea of how busy I am. Moving abroad takes up a lot of your time. There's so much organizational stuff to figure out, so much logistical stuff. I had this really big apartment in North Carolina where I could just spread out all my things. Now I'm living in student accommodation where I have to compress my life into this small space. There are these not so fun nitty-gritty things you have to figure out, like how much you have to pay these different entities on the way. But after that, I think I've had a fairly smooth transition. Adjusting to life in a different country is not as hard as I expected, but I think partly because I've been to London several times, I've traveled here. I had a basic idea of what the culture of the city was like. This has been a culmination of a year's worth of work and thinking and planning. I had a sort of an idea in mind of how I would live as a student, how I would adjust. While not everything has gone exactly according to plan, I mean, nothing ever does. Having that long time to think and that preparation has made things a lot easier. In addition, I think because I'm entering an academic environment, there's already kind of a support system in place. Socializing and social life are already built into your academic life. And I'm also in a program that I really enjoy at the moment. So I feel like there's a lot of very fortunate things that have converged and come together to make my experience pretty good. I have friends in my classes. I joined several societies and I have friends there. I have friends in my flat where I live. I would say the more difficult parts have been adjusting my schedule from a working life schedule to a student life schedule. Typically when you work a roughly 9 to 5 pace, and you come home and you leave work behind and you can do whatever you want, and that is your free time. As a student, you get these sort of various blocks of scheduled time, and then you have these weird blocks in between of free time where you could work, but there are these other things to do. By and large, how I've dealt with that is by waking up very early in the morning, maybe 5 or 6, latest for me 6:30, and then just doing all my work before lecture or tutorial. And ideally, all my work is done by around 6 o'clock. And in the evening, I can do whatever I have to do with all my societies and clubs. Essentially, retaining the best aspects of my working life and integrating that into a student life schedule. Those of you who are subscribed, you probably want to know what my video making schedule is gonna be like. I really am gonna try to keep it regular. I think with all the adjustment to my academic and social life, it's just taken precedence over a lot of other things. I haven't even done that much reading, which is a little bit disastrous for me. I think in the month of September, I completed 2 books. 2 books. I think now that my schedule has gotten to a certain rhythm, I should be able to resume a normal posting schedule. So I absolutely will deliver new content. Gonna be more book videos probably, maybe some vlogging, no promises. I've actually been photographing and filming my life a lot less than I expected since I moved here, because I feel like having a camera there sort of separates me from an experience. I've done a lot of really exciting things since I've come here. I went to a Placebo concert, which I was so excited about. I came to Philadelphia back when I still lived in Philadelphia, and I didn't go see them, and I always regretted it. Then I got to go see them, and they were so awesome. A friend with weed is better. A friend with
breasts and all the rest. A friend is dressed in leather. A friend in need, a friend indeed. A friend will tease is better. Our thoughts compressed, which makes us blessed. It's the stormy weather.
Brian Malco is so smooth and suave. Despite the fact that he'd actually lost his voice a few weeks back and was trying to get it back, he's still such a charmer.
I had to shut up. I had to not speak for a whole week. And we had to postpone some shows and shit in the hope that my voice would be better for you guys here at Brixton tonight. As we discovered at soundcheck this morning, my voice has not fully recovered yet. So I would like to thank you in advance for your patience and your understanding. We are still here, and we still want to put on a kick-ass motherfucking rock show for you guys tonight.
He actually had to key down some of his songs, and so they sounded a little bit different live. There was a Pink Floyd exhibit on at the Victoria and Albert Museum, and I got to go see that on the last week it was on. It was pretty special since Pink Floyd has been one of those bands that's defined my life, changed my teenagerhood. And if any of you have any suggestions for new content, please pass them my way. I definitely like getting suggestions from you. Thank you to those who have continued watching, positively commenting, and subscribing. So stay tuned for more content. You can follow me in the meantime on Twitter and Goodreads. And I will see you in my next video.
Remember me when everyone knows it starts to be heater. Remember me, special.